Hello everyone, welcome to my channel and welcome to another video. So in today's video we are going to be talking about hair and natural hair care, how I'm washing my hair without shampoo and conditioner, because that is what I promised I would talk about in my last video. So first of all, before we get started on the video, you might be thinking, hang on, have we gone back in time? What is going on? Yes, as you probably noticed in my intro and from the background, I am back in the UK, which is why I couldn't film last week because I was flying back from Dubai. If this is your first time here, I was supposed to transfer to Dubai and I managed to get there just in time for the quarantine. So decided last week, do you know what, there's no point, I'm just gonna wait out the quarantine here. Secondly, yes, we can also address the other elephant in the room, and yes, I have something funky going on with my eye. That is eye eczema. I don't know why. As soon as I come back to the UK, it's like, bam, welcome home, here's some eczema for you. We'll talk about that in another video. So yeah, what are we going to talk about today? We're going to talk about natural hair care. If this is your first time here, I love talking about natural hair care, natural skin care, and all things health and nature related. So if you like those things, then I think you should hit that subscribe button so we can hang out more often. So I mentioned in a few videos back that as soon as we went in quarantine, I decided to kind of give up this conventional shampoo and conditioner. So this is actually a thing, it's called the no-poo method, which is essentially when you just leave your hair for forever. Yes, at first it gets super greasy, super oily, and then eventually what's supposed to happen is your hair just kind of rebalances itself and you stop overproducing on all those oils, and then you'll just have forever clean and lovely soft shiny hair. Now, I don't think that I will ever get to that point, firstly because I've heard that people who live in places with hard water don't have the same results as people with soft water. Secondly, I just like having clean hair. So I did a bit of experimentation trying to figure out, okay, how do I actually get to washing my hair without using shampoo conditioner? So I kind of get the same benefits as doing the no-poo method, but I still feel like my hair is getting washed, if you know what I mean. Let's be honest, this is the perfect time to experiment with things like this because we're not really going outside and socializing in the same way, which I'm kind of enjoying. So if you haven't heard of this, you're probably thinking, okay, why would I want to give up shampoo and conditioner? What's wrong with it? So the reason is that most shampoos are made of ingredients that, yes, they do clean your hair, they get rid of all the dirt and everything, but they also get rid of all the oils, including all the natural oils that your scalp produces. So it leaves your hair super, super dry. And as you know, if you use shampoo on its own without conditioner, it tends to be very, very dry. So the conditioner then, what is that? That's made of things called silicones, which rather than actually putting back any of the moisture, they just put a thin layer on top of the actual hair strand. So that's why it feels very slippery and silky and soft at first. But actually it isn't replacing any of those natural oils that want to go into your hair and nourish your hair. And of course there are other reasons, you know, the less chemicals we use, the less polluting it is for the environment, the less plastic bottles we're using, all these sorts of things. I've been washing my hair now with this natural method for 3-4 weeks and my hair has honestly never looked so healthy. It looks super thick. It feels really, really amazing, and it will stay like this for a good few days, whereas before when I was using conventional shampoos, it would get greasy by the next day. So this is, yeah, been working super, super well for me. So if this is something that you're interested in, that I'm gonna give you a full step-by-step breakdown now exactly of what I've been doing, and maybe you can try it yourself. So this way that I've been washing my hair is actually a traditional method that comes from India, and women in India have been using these powders to wash their hair for centuries, and they all have amazing luscious hair, so I'll just do what they're doing. And the 3 powders you need to get, one is called shikakai, one is called brahmi, and one is called neem powder. Now I've probably pronounced those horribly, and I really do apologize if anyone's sitting there going, oh my god, you've just made my ears bleed. So I got these from a website, a sort of an organic natural powders website in Dubai. You can get them on Amazon, you can find them pretty easily, and they're pretty cheap. All these 3 powders for under £20. I'll put the dollar value somewhere on the screen, and they are going to last you a long time because you don't need to use very much of them for every time that you create the kind of mixture that you're going to be making. And the thing about these powders is that they all contain a lot of amazing like nutrients, antioxidants, and things that are very good for sort of the feeding your scalp and your actual hair follicles. As you may or may not know already, I have suffered from hair loss, so I'm very into anything that promotes any kind of natural hair growth. So let's see if this helps with that. So the actual process starts the night before. So what you need to do is you need to get 1 tablespoon of the shikakai powder, which is supposed to be the more conditioning powder of the 3 powders. Then you get 1 teaspoon of brahmi powder, which is the one that has the most protein, the sort of the one that strengthens your hair, and then 1 teaspoon of the neem powder, which contains all antioxidants and things like that that are supposed to promote hair growth and just a generally healthy scalp environment. So put these in a pan. Then you want to add some water to this pan. So I always eyeball it, but I did actually measure it out for you guys this time. So it was about between 400 and 450 milliliters of water. Add that to the powders, mix it up, and then bring it to the boil. It does boil up pretty quickly, so do keep an eye on it and don't let it overflow like I did, where it just made a complete mess everywhere. Once it is boiling, you can remove the lid, turn the heat down a bit, and just let it simmer for about 10 minutes. So the reason you're doing this is because the powders just sort of dissolve a little bit better in the water, so it doesn't become such a gritty, sludgy mess. I mean, it is a gritty, sludgy mess both ways, but this is just a little bit less so. Once you've let that simmer for 10 minutes, you can take it off the boil and you just let it steep then for, I think I left it about 20 to 30 minutes. Once it's cooled down enough, you want to transfer it into a bottle and then put it in the fridge overnight. I'm sure you don't actually need to leave it overnight in the fridge. That's just the recipe that I went by. Let me know if you've done something different or if you've used this mixture in any different way. So somebody asked me what the consistency of this should be, and it's definitely on the watery side. It literally smells and looks like a pond, and that is fine. That's how it should look. This is a completely optional and possibly slightly unnecessary tip, but I do like to do a really hard bit of exercise, get really sweaty, because once it's clean, you're going to want to keep it like that, and maybe you won't want to exercise the day after or the day after that. So before you actually wash your hair with the powder rinse, I did an avocado mask before this. So this is one thing that I've noticed when you're using more natural methods to wash your hair, is I actually like to condition the hair first, because if you put oil in afterwards, your hair just stays very, very oily. So that's why I like to do an avocado mask before I actually do the wash with the powders. So the way you do this is pretty obvious. You get an avocado, nice and mushy and ripe, mush it all up so that you get a good consistency that you can put in your hair. You're probably sitting there thinking, why on earth are you wearing surgical gloves? And the reason is I'm actually a little bit allergic to avocado, so I didn't want to touch it too much with my hands. And now you think I'm insane. Yeah, I obviously don't recommend using things that you're allergic to, but I just really wanted my hair to be nice and shiny today, so it's been fine. Once you get it in, I just focus mostly again like on the ends of my hair, because that is the bit that does tend to get a bit drier, especially when you're not using normal conventional conditioner. So just cover it up, but get your hair mask in, put it in for like 10-15 minutes. This step is completely optional. You don't have to do an avocado, or you could do an oil mask of some kind. I just like to do it because it does, you know, give that sort of extra level of conditioning, and I have a lot of free time on my hands these days. So once you've left that in, we are ready for the rinse. So get it out the fridge. I would actually recommend getting out the fridge like a good half an hour, if not an hour beforehand. I forgot to do that. So it was freaking cold when I ended up pouring it on my head. And then when you're in the shower, you literally just pour a little bit on the top, a little bit underneath, sides, everywhere you can. Just scrub it in, do like a proper scrub right in the scalp. Again, it feels a bit funny, like it feels like a strange gritty cement almost in your hair. So just keep rubbing it in, rub. Wash it out, maybe do that a few more times. I used about a third of the bottle that we ended up making. So like I said, the actual mixture should last you a relatively long time. And once you've finished sort of washing it all out, you can wash it out with some cold water. For an extra bit of shine, you can also do an apple cider vinegar rinse, where you get about a cup of apple cider vinegar and about a cup and a half of normal water, mix it up, and then pour it on your ends again, and then rinse it out, and it should make it super nice and shiny. And once you've actually done with the washing, do make sure everything is out. Make sure that, you know, you've cleaned up after yourself in the shower. It can get a bit messy, especially with the avocado and blah. And when you're done with that, you can dry it in the way that you normally dry it. So today I used a hairdryer, but sometimes I just let it air dry. It's whatever you feel like on the day. And that is it. Like I said, the mixture should last you about 2 or 3 washes. So you don't have to do the sort of the actual preparation every single time you wash your hair. And if you are like me, you're leaving it, you know, once a week, then obviously this will last you for a whole month. There's also other ways that you can use the powders. I know that you can create a bit of a paste with them using a bit of castor oil. A friend of mine did that and she had great results with that. I also know that you can, instead of brahmi powder, you can use something called amla powder. I haven't actually tried it myself, but there are a few different ways that you can use these different powders to wash your hair. So you can use it just as often as you would a normal conventional shampoo and conditioner. I've just been doing it once a week because I feel like this is a good opportunity to let my hair kind of do that oil rebalancing. But if I'm I'm honest, by the end of the week it is super greasy and I'm pretty desperate to get it washed. I really like this method, and I think this is definitely something I'm going to be doing for a long time. But yeah, if you have any other suggestions or any other ways that you guys have been doing this kind of natural hair washing method, then do leave some comments or questions or tips in the comment section down below. I would love to hear from you. If you like this video, as always, please like it, please subscribe to it, and I will see you again very soon for another video. Bye!